Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So, on Friday, the new Prime program dropped, which means a whole new set of cards. You already know I had to come out with a tier list video. Sorry, I've been away for the weekend, that's why I'm a little late on this one. The program is super fast and easy to complete. You get a couple of solid cards in Charlie Morton, Jesse Chavez, and Salvi, plus not one but two packs. So, overall, it's a really solid content drop. And if you're going for the 96 Lance Bergman collection, all you really need to do is collect around 6 cards and you just finish the whole program. So you can get this done in like 30 minutes or in 5 if you just buy every card. So if you enjoyed the content, make sure to like and subscribe if you are new. It really goes a long way. Starting off from the bottom, as always, we have F tier. These are just, collection filler. They're for the binder. These cards suck. Like, you got this Luis Aparicio. He's a defensive shortstop. That's 5'9". Like, yeah. Hal Newhouser, he sucks. He's probably the worst pitcher in the game, in my opinion. Doesn't have good control. Horrible pitch mix. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have outlier on his four seam. I'm not really sure. I literally don't care about this card. He sucked. And Robin Roberts, he throws sneaky hard. I think he tops at like 99, 98, probably like 99. But, his pitch mix is not ideal. If you had outlier, you could use this guy on All Star because of how slow his changeup is. But he doesn't, though. He sucks. He's after for me. We move on to the C tier or the power creep question mark. Are you sure we're in a year of power creep? Like, these cards are horrible. They're horrendous. Bill Mazeroski, he's always trash. Bad swing. He plays defense, but like he just doesn't bring anything to the table offensively. So he's pretty bad. Then you have like this Mike Cameron. Like, I would much rather use like Joe Adele. I mean, you have the free Luis Robert from the program, for the multiplayer program. He's like 5,000 stubs. There's no way in hell you're using this Mike Cameron over that Louis Bob. He's not dog shit, horrible trash, because he is comparable to some other cards, but he came out later. He's supposed to be just a bit better, and he's actually worse than that Luis Roberto. Tommy Pham, he has the stats, so maybe I should have not put him here, but his swing sucks, and he always plays like he's one of those guys that it says he has like 114 power, but is going to feel a lot like 90. So he's not very good. And pretty sure he does not play the best outfield defense. Let me double check that. He's fine, like at left field, he's fine, but yeah, this card is not usable. And then another guy that would have been great if they gave us this card a month ago. Maybe he was like a 93. Richie Sexton, he's 6'8", so immediately he's going to give a lot of people a lot of problems. He has a decent swing, but this guy's a push hitter, so push hitter 6'8", that's like a horrible combination for the majority of the players in this game. So if you're an all-star, I'm sure you're going to rake with this guy. If you're an all-star guy, just play solely on all-star, and you're still running like that Pete Alonso, or maybe you can use this guy as a platoon if you like somebody else at a lefty bat. But why bother doing all that when you could just use like Eddie Murray, who's like 12K. So for the free program, it would have been much cooler if they gave us like a 95 Salvi, who's actually kind of usable. But let's just keep going. On to B tier. B tier, or we have here some budget cards. I know you're cringing at me having Jim Cat here, but this guy, I'm definitely biased here because his Jolt card at the start of the year, I used him for like 30 something innings, and I had like a 1.7 ERA with him. I was getting a lot of weak contact. And I think you can please don't use this guy on All Star. Like, I think I just got lucky. But on Hall of Fame and Legend, you can maybe start to use him. He has good control, so he can't be cheesy, but he doesn't have the best speed differential. So please, if you're an All Star, do not use this card. He's going to get shelled. And on Hall of Fame and Legend, I guess if you're playing against the right opponent, again, I'm kind of biased here. Have not used him yet, and I will probably not use him. So yeah, I mean, maybe I'm like reaching, but for like 10K and 94 overall starter, it's not bad. Talking about starters, Charlie Morton, if you had outlier, again, another pitcher, that would benefit tremendously if you had outlier. If you had outlier, he would fry people on All Star. He doesn't, so his speed differentials aren't very good. So he's kind of like a Zach Wheeler with a more nasty curveball and a splitter instead of a slurve or whatever curveball variation of the curveball Zach Wheeler throws. So he's going to be like fine. Like you can throw this Charlie Morton out. He's going to, give up some runs, but he's probably not getting shelled. He's fine. He's decent. Then Michael Young. When I first did this tier list, I was going to put this Michael Young in like this F tier because I just don't like that player archetype. Like he's a contact hitting shortstop with bad defense, and he's not fast, and he's not like 6'3", 6'4". But he actually has a very good swing. I remember that. I used this All-Star card, who is the collection reward for the Texas. Obviously, I never touched that card online, but I used him when I was grinding on the mini season. He has a butter swing, but that card had like 50 power, so it was just a lot of perfect singles and doubles. But if you get him to, if you super factor this card, he goes to 80 power against both sides, 120 clutch, almost 120 contact versus both sides. He's going to have like 80 plus reaction, 80 plus arm. So he's not terrible, but why use this guy when you can just use Eater, who actually is glitchy and will hit home runs for you? But he's not just like trash. He's fine, but I think there's much better options. And finally, Ian Kinsler. He sucks. Like, I know I haven't been beat here, but I don't know. He's just not someone that I think he is like good. He has speed, but he's not that great. He doesn't have that great glove. 80 contact versus righties. No, my bad. 90 contact versus righties. 80 power versus righties. Doesn't even have like insane stats versus lefties. I mean, why in the world would you use this card over like even Brian Roberts at this point? I know that Brian Roberts is slower and probably has like a little bit worse contact versus lefties, has more power against righties, but he's a switch hitter at the end of the day. And in this game, switch hitting, that's the meta. And finally, we go to the A tier, or the meta in the right hands. I think some people will fry with these cards. That Salvador Perez, he's always a menace. Like, doesn't matter his stats, he always feels like he at least has maxed out power versus lefties. That's how he always plays. Good defensively. He's going to be an all-star goon. For if some reason you're not feeling comfortable with Grandal or who's like other catcher that you could be using. Yeah, if you don't like Grandal's swing and you have been bad with him, use this free Perez. You're probably going to crush a lot of people since the starting pitchers meta are very lefty oriented right now, like with Scooble and Randy Johnson's now very cheap, so you're going to start seeing him a lot more. This Salvi card is going to be amazing, but for some people are still going to need a switch hitting catcher like myself because I suck. And then you have Terry Pendleton, who I swear to God, this that card is like my fucking granddad on this game. I could never get this guy out when his first variation came out earlier in the year. I think he had like an all-star card. Terry Pendleton is a guy that you're going to see a lot of people just glaze this guy, say he's one of the best bats in their lineup, that they quote unquote rake with Terry Pendleton. Well, they have one home run in 20 games, so they're hitting 300, they're batting 350 with a lot of shitty singles, and they think they're good at the game. If you're bad at the game and you're just not trying to get better and hit home runs, then Terry Pendleton is your guy. Because you're just going to hit lineouts, doubles. He's rarely going to hit a home run for you. Very low power. He's a switch hitter, so he's good, but he doesn't really play good defense. He's not fast. So if you're that guy that loves to get bloopy singles, then he's your guy. Like, he's going to be amazing at that. Like, I at the start of the year, I could not get this guy out. He would literally go 3-for-4 every game, every time I seen him. And that was pretty much every game because everybody was using him. So, and finally, Jesse Chavez and Raisel Iglesias, two solid bullpen arms. Like, there aren't like many staples, like guys that you actually like need in your bullpen, other than like Felix Bautista and like Danny Colum. Other than that, is like up to personal preference. There's like no meta guys for the bullpen. That Jesse Chavez, he had a little bit more of speed differential. He would fry. Like, he's kind of like a right-handed Columbe, but he's just not funky enough, in my opinion. I know some people will love this guy. And Iglesias, he's another sinker guy without liar. So sinkers guys will always be meta. At last, the S tier, the meta cards. You are going to want to start using these cards in your God squads. I didn't buy Veritek. I actually enjoyed his card early in the year. I immediately added Lance Berkman. He's my right fielder. I think you should get him. If you already have that Jason Kipnis, then this collection is super cheap. It's like under 100k coins, and he's probably the best right fielder in my opinion right now. He can play defense, switch hitting, has very similar stats to Bryce Harper. So if you're in need of a switch hitting first baseman, even he's your guy. He's going to rake against righties for you. And Jason Varitek, I was really debating about adding him into this tier. Originally, I was going to put him in the A tier, but just because there's so much like switch hitting catcher options this year is so stupid. I don't think he's better than Atley. He's definitely not better than Santana. He's probably like a little bit better than Posada, maybe. He's definitely better than Grandal, so that's that. Has a very good swing. He just doesn't have, great stats, but he can actually play some defense. For 50k, is he worth it? Probably. Like, if you want to get this Lance Berkman, I would probably just lock in this Veritek instead of the Pendleton. I only locked in Terry Pendleton because he was like 5,000 subs cheaper than this Jason Veritek. But overall, he's super solid. Very good. And as a little bonus, a little extra for me being so late, I'm going to rank the June Spotlight cards that have dropped so far, because we got probably the best third or second baseman in the game in Brooks Lee. He's literally just Willie Castro with worse defense, but he's a much better hitter than him. He has more power than Willie. He's not as fast, cannot play defense, but this guy's my DH moving forward. I already bought him. For 70k, you're getting pretty much Willie Castro. This guy's going to rake. This Nolan Arenado, I think he's the second best card we've gotten so far. And Casey Smith behind him, he's not that far behind him. Honestly, I wanted to put Soriano at second or third, but he's a pitcher. You can only use him every 5 games. But this guy, if you don't have Clemens, I think he should be in your rotation. Like, if you don't have Clemens, I think you should definitely be running Skubal, Leiter, Soriano, Pearson, and John Donaldson. I think that should be your starting 5 if you don't have Clemens, and obviously you don't have Valenzuela. Evan Carter, like, fine. I think he's better than PCA. If you're somehow you still using PCA, or a guy like Victor Scott, or a more defensive oriented center fielder, I know you also have Luis Robert now, so he's another option. But for a defensive center fielder, he actually has a very good swing. Like, if you play co-op and you have used that goal, Evan Carter, he rakes again, even against lefties. He's very good. That's a very good swing. Hunter Goodman, catcher, he's only up here like in front of those 2 pitchers because he has like position versatility, and he actually has some decent stats, hitting stats. Drew Rasmussen and Misarowski. Misarowski, I think he's terrible. I think he sucks. Please do not use this card. He's not worth those 40, 50, 60k. I don't know how much he is these days. He's definitely over 40k, I would assume. Drew Rasmussen, like, he's going to either get shelled or just be fine, so he's not anything special. Misarowski is probably going to get fried unless you're playing a bum on All-Star that cannot touch the outlier, but he's not funky. Only 4 pitches, and pretty sure it's just 3 because he throws a curveball, so yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. And Pasquantino, like, he's whatever. So that's going to be the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please drop a like, subscribe if you have not done so yet. Until then, I'll catch you probably on Friday when we get some new hot content. I'll catch you later.